Okay, good morning. So in today's class, we'll see the next topic. That is, before going to see, I told in the last class we will see next types of branch and bound, right? So before going to see what is branch and bound, different types. So we'll see some of the terminologies which you should know. Okay. First we will see what is live node. So what is a live node? Any node is called as a live node whenever um, it has been generated, but whose children nodes are not yet been generated, currently which has been generated. Okay, but whose children nodes are not yet been generated, you call such nodes as a live node. Next is e node. So what is this e node? E node is nothing but a live node whose children are currently being explored. So all these terminologies is related to a state space tree, right? So whenever we are generated a tree, whenever we have generated a node, right, that current node you call it as a live node. E node is nothing but a live node, okay, whose childrens are being explored. The next alternatives is being explored. You call such a node as a E node. Fine. Or in other words, you can say the node which is currently being expanded or currently being uh, further moving to next alternative, that is E node. Okay. So next is dead node. We know what is dead node, correct? So dead node is nothing but a node that is either which is not means not possible to expand further, or you can also call it as which does not satisfies the constraints, correct? So in such case you kill that particular node. So that you call it as a dead node, correct? A node from where we cannot move further. So that is a dead node. Or a node which we kill, no, that you call it as a dead node. Next is bounding function. So what is bounding function? These are the functions, right? Functions which will be used to kill a particular nodes, live nodes, kill a particular live nodes, correct? So that is a bounding function. And in the previous examples, we saw what is bounding functions were various problems, right? There need not to be only one function. There can be n number of bounding functions based on which you can decide whether you can continue further or you can kill that particular node, correct? So that is nothing but a bounding function. Is this clear? So we already were familiar with dead node and bounding function. So now we should know what is live node and e node. Fine. So next we will see, as I already told in the last class, we will see different types of branch and bound solution, correct? Different types of branch and bound approach. So one approach which is commonly used is least cost branch and bound approach. What is this least cost branch and bound approach? Okay, there is a search strategy. What are we doing over here is searching, right? So we are searching for an optimal solution, correct? So the search strategy that uses a cost function, okay, there is a cost function. If it uses a cost function to select a particular node, okay, to select that node, can you call it as a e node? Okay, so select the next e node. That should always choose e node, that should always node whose cost should be the minimum or whose cost should be the least value. Okay, is it clear? So I will repeat, what is least cost or a least cost search is a search technique, okay, which follows a cost functions, okay, that uses a cost function in order to find a node whose cost is minimum or whose cost is least. So that is why it is called as least cost search. Clear? So based on least cost, we are going to select the particular node. So this is called as least cost search. All right. So whenever a least cost search along with a bounding functions, least cost search along with that you will include bounding functions, you call altogether you call it as a least cost branch and bound approach. Okay, least cost search will do what? It will just search for a particular a node with a least cost, correct? Along with the least cost, if you include a bounding functions also, like altogether you call it as a least cost branch and bound. How are we branching and how are we branching here? It is based on the least cost, correct? So that is why it is called as least cost branch and bound. Fine. So now we will apply this least cost branch and bound to a 0/1 knapsack problem, and we will see how this least cost branch and bound works, right? So we'll take an example now. Consider an example here, right? So four items has been given, right? Four items with respective profits and the weights is given. So if you see here, there are four items, right? So item one, 2, 3 and 4. Correct. So what is the profit of item 1? It is 10. Then profit of item 3 is also 2 is also 10, 3 is 12, and 4 is 18. So these are the profits given for each and every items. Correct. And what is its respective weights? So there is a weight for item 1 is 2, then item 2 is 4, item 3 is 6, and item 4 is 9 respectively. Correct. So what is the problem definition of 0/1? It is a profit and a weight is given for a number of items. Correct. We need, and also the maximum capacity of a bag will be given. Correct. We need to find a subset such that the items whatever we are filling in a bag should not exceed the maximum capacity. And what is a problem over here? It is a maximization problem. Correct. While discussing about branch and bound, we were talking about the application, branch and bound application. It basically applies for a optimization problem, a minimization problem. Correct. In case of optimization, it can be both a maximization and minimization. But optimization, branch and bound will apply only for a minimization problem. And we were also discussing that if a maximization problem is given, we can convert that into minimization problem, and then use this approach, that is branch and bound approach. Correct. So this problem, as I told, it is a maximization problem. Why? Because here we are talking about a profit. Profit should be always maximum profit. Correct. Maximum gain should be there. So it is a maximization problem. So how are we converting this maximization problem into minimization problem? Is basically just use a subtract symbol, minus symbol over here. Correct. Identify the cost, identify the upper bound. We know what is upper bound. Correct. Why we are using upper bound? In the last class also we were discussing about the same problem. Upper bound, why we are using upper bound? Because it is a maximization problem. We have to use upper bound rather than a lower bound. Correct. But how are we converting this into minimization problem? Just use a minus symbol. Correct. So just use a minus symbol. So this simply converts the maximization problem into minimization problem. So we'll see what are the formula uh, to generate the upper bound value, to create upper bound value, and what is the cost function. We well know what is cost function. Correct. What is the cost function over here? Cost function is nothing but the profit of all the items which we have selected till now. Correct. Which we have placed in a bag till now. That is what is your cost function. So that can be given by summation I is equal to 1 to n pi. Pi is nothing but profit of all the items which you have selected. Then xi. Xi is nothing but it can be either 0 or 1, because it is a 0 or 1 knapsack problem. If the item is selected, you represent it with 1. If the item is not selected, you represent it with 0. Correct. So those values represented by xi. So summation of I is equal to 1 to n pi xi. This will give you the cost function. Correct. Do you get this point? So this is how you find out the cost. Then how will you find out the upper bound? Is upper bound, it is the similar way. Cost function, similar to the cost function, where summation I is equal to 1 to n pi xi. And you should also check for this condition. This should be less than or equal to m. So what is m? M is nothing but the maximum capacity of a bag. Correct. So it should be less than or equal to m. Okay. So one more point we all should make a note here is, for a cost function we should consider a fraction here. Okay. What do you mean by fraction in this knapsack problem? We can divide the items into various, different ranges. For example, if it is, say, if 18 is if 9 is the weight of that particular item. Okay. But if the remaining capacity of a bag is, say, 2, I can divide this 9 by 9, so such that we can adjust the weight to gain the maximum capacity of a bag, to adjust to the maximum capacity of a bag. So that is nothing but fraction. Even this problem we solve, right? While we were talking about dynamic programming, we solve this. So while finding the cost function, we are considering fraction. While finding the upper bound, we are not considering the fraction. So that is what which is written here. So without fraction while calculating the upper bound, with fraction while calculating the cost. Is this concept is clear? If you understood till now, so then we can proceed further with solving the problem. Is it clear? So these are the conditions you should, these are the conditions you should know before solving the problem. So you should know what is upper bound, how to calculate upper bound, how to calculate the cost. While calculating the upper bound, you are not considering the fraction. While calculating the cost, you are considering the fraction. Clear? Fine. So let us start with the problem now. So as I already told, what is the number of how many number of items given here? 4 items, correct? So I can write it with n is equal to 4. And what is the maximum capacity of a bag given here is 15. Okay, the maximum capacity of a bag given over here is 15. So let us start with the initial node. So initial node is represented by 1 here. So 1. So what was the initial what was the initial condition we should consider? We should consider we have selected here, in this case we have selected, say we have selected all the items. If you have selected all the items, okay, we will follow this approach. So let me start with the initial node by calculating the upper bound and the cost. So how are we calculating the cost? So cost C is equal to, let us take the first item, the profit is 10. Then take the second item, the profit is 10. Take the third item, the profit is 10. Along with its respective weight also you should keep checking, right? So 2, first item weight is 2, plus second item weight is 4. So 4 plus 2 is 6. Whether 6 is less than or equal to maximum capacity of a bag. What is the maximum capacity of a bag? It is 15. So 6 is less than or equal to 15. Yes, the condition is true. So go for the next item. What is the next item? Item 3. What is the weight of item 3? It is 6. So 6 plus already weight of items placed in a bag is 6. So 6 plus 6, because it is a cumulative process, right? Keep on adding. So 6 plus 6 will give you 12. Whether this 12 is less than or equal to 15, yes, it is less than 12, 15. So what we can do, select the item 3. So even the cost will keep updating. So 10 plus 10 plus 12. Till now, what did we do? We have selected 3 items, correct? So what is the next item? It is item 4. Item 4, the weight of item 4 is 9, correct? So if I add 12 plus 9, so 12 plus 9 will give you 21, correct? So whether 21 is less than or equal to 15? No, it is not less than or equal to 15. So which indicates that don't select item 4, correct? If you select item 4, which exceeds the maximum capacity of a bag, so don't select item 4. Till now, did you understand? So if you have done with this, so what we should do, we should stop at this point because we cannot select item 4. Now, how are we calculating the cost function? I already told while calculating a cost function, use a fraction, correct? How to use a fraction? So that is profit divided by weight ratio, correct? So remember, which we have done in the last class, profit divided by weight ratio. So that is 18 divided by 9 into what is the left out weight? What is the minimum capacity which we can fill now? So if you observe, the weight of the first 3 items is 12, right? So 4 plus 2 plus 6 is 12. What is the remaining capacity that we can fit into the bag? So 15 minus 12 is 3. Okay, did you understand why? How did we get 3? The till now, how many? The weight of the items which is occupied in the bag is 12, but the maximum capacity of a bag is 15. So what is the left out capacity? The remaining capacity of a bag is 3. So we can fill 3. Mm, what you can say? You can fill the only 3 portion of a 3 weight of a item 4, correct? Out of 9. Out of 9. Say for example, consider kgs. So out of 9 kgs, you can fit only 3 kgs. Similar way, right? So that is what which I have done here. So if you see here, we are calculating with fraction. So 18 divided by 9 into the remaining capacity which we can fill into the bag, that is 3. Clear? So 18 divided by 9 into 3 will give you what? Will result in 6, right? So perform the computation and you will get the result as 6. Understood till now? So yeah, now add all these values. So 10 plus 10 plus 12 plus 6 will give you 38. Clear? So any doubts till now? So 38. So at the initial node or initial state, the cost value is 38, but represent it with minus symbol. So C is equal to minus 38. Is it clear? So we have done with cost, and we should also calculate the upper bound, is it? So how will we calculate the upper bound? I told you calculate the upper bound with a fraction. So don't consider this fraction part. The remaining part in the cost, just consider in upper bound and calculate the value. So 10 plus 10 plus 12. So what is the value which you got? 32. Correct? Why are we not selecting the fourth item? Because while calculating upper bound, we should not consider a fraction. It should be done without fraction. So that is why it is 32. So u is equal to minus 32. Did you get till now? So if you have done with the first node, how are we branching further? Correct? We are next condition or next assumption what we are making is we are selecting item 1, and the alternative of this is not selecting item 1. So selecting item 1 and not selecting item 1. If you are selecting a item 1, okay, did you observe here the cost value and the upper bound value will remain same? Why is this? Because uh, in the initial node we told we have selected item 1. So what is the assumption we are making? We are making assumption saying that I am selecting item 1. So it is already done in the previous node. No need to perform any computations. Just keep the cost value and the upper bound value as it is. Correct? Is clear? So that is why cost value will remain same. That is minus 38. Upper bound value will remain same as minus 32. Clear? Fine. So this is with item 1 by selecting item 1. Now without item 1, without selecting item 1. So x1 is equal to 0 now. Now your cost value and upper bound value will change. Clear? So what is the cost value now? We are telling that don't select item 1. If you are not selecting item 1, you should not consider this weight also. Correct? So start from item 2 now. What is item 2 weight? It is 4. What is item 3 weight? It is 6. So 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 is less than or equal to 9. Yes, it is less than or equal to, sorry, not 9. It is less than or equal to maximum capacity, that is 15. So 10 is less than or equal to 15. Yes. So you can go for the next item also. Next item, that is fourth item, weight is 9. So 10 plus 9 is 19, which exceeds the maximum capacity of a bag. So what will you do? Only the fraction of the item 4 will be selected. So what is the remaining weight? 6 plus 4 is 10. So remaining weight is 5. So only take 5 out of 9 from item 4, correct? So that is why the ratio, the fraction will be calculated with the weight, profit by weight ratio into the remaining capacity is 5. Did you get this? Get till now? Fine. So this is how you calculate the cost. And how will you calculate the upper bound? Again, take only the second item, third item, because we cannot fit fourth item whose weight is, if you include fourth item also, whose weight exceeds the maximum capacity. So include only second item and third item. So what is the profit of second item, third item? It is 10 and 12. So it is 22. So represent it with minus 22. Clear till now? So we have done with the first level, correct? So we have done with first level. So along with this, you should also keep track of a variable called, okay, you should also keep track of a variable called upper bound, right? So initially, the initial value of the upper bound is infinity. Okay, initial value of the upper bound is infinity. When you approach, when you start, I mean, when you branch to the each and every level, you need to identify the one which is least upper bound value, least value. Okay, because we are dealing with least cost method, right? So identify the one which is least cost, then update the upper bound UB value. This keep use a variable called UB and keep updating this, right? So in this particular level, which is minimum minus 32 or minus 22. It is minus, right? So minus 32 is the least value. So update any infinity is the initial value. Infinity is greater than minus 32. So update this. So you should always update the minimum value in a UB variable. Is it clear? So at each and every level, check for the upper bound value, u value. This is u, right? So check for the u value, that is upper bound value. Identify the one which is minimum and update the variable ub. Clear? Fine. So now we have done till here, correct? So if you observe, which is the one which is minimum here, minus 32. So need not to branch at this particular node because 22 is more compared to 32, right? It is more. So I need not to branch here, but that is one of the bounding function. You can stop there because we are dealing with least cost. So it is The cost is more compared to the level 2 here. So stop branching further. Correct? Did you get this point? So I am not going further in this right node. So move in the left node. So branch further in the left node here. So we have done with selecting item 1. Correct? Now what is the next option? Select item 2. Okay. So if you select item 2, again if you observe, the cost and the upper bound value, cost value and the upper bound value will remain same, because in the initial stage only we made an assumption. We made an assumption saying we have selected item 1, item 2, item 3 and item 4. Correct? So this will remain same. Is it clear? So this will remain say minus 38 and minus 32. So we'll move for the next alternative, that is not selecting item 2. We have done with selecting item 2. Now we'll go for not selecting item 2. So x2 will become 0 now. Fine. Now start calculating the upper bound and the cost function. So what is the cost function? It's here. So 10, select the first item, 2 plus, don't select according to our assumption, don't select item 2. So don't select item 2. Go for the third item. What is our weight for third item? It is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. 8 is less than or equal to 15. Okay. So we can fit item 3. Next, go for next item, item 4. Item 4, the weight is 9. We cannot fit it in a bag. So what we should do? We should do only the fraction of it. So 6 plus 2 is 8. What is the remaining weight? 15 minus 8 is 7, right? Okay, 7. Yes, 7. So what should we do? Find out the ratio. So that is 18 divided by 9 into 7. So here, so 10 plus 12 plus 18 divided by 9 into 7, you will get a value 36. So update here, minus 36. Clear? And how are we calculating upper bound? Same in a similar way. So that is, we are selecting item 1 and item 2. We are not selecting a fraction part. So don't consider item 4. So only item 1 and item 3 profit. So 10 plus 2, which is nothing but minus 22. Clear? So minus 22. Is it clear till now? Fine. Now again check which is the minimum value here in this particular level. At this particular level of our state space tree, minus 32 and minus 22. The minimum value is minus 32 because it is minus symbol, right? It is so a minus 32 is the minimum value. Update the UB variable. UB variable is already minus 32. Need not to update it. Both are same, right? So minus 32 will remain same, right? So if you see here, can I branch at this particular node? You cannot branch at this particular node because it is the largest. I mean, it is not the least cost value. The least cost value over here is minus 32. It is not minus 22. So I cannot branch further at a node 5. This is clear? So till now, are we done with till now? Any doubts? So what? Why are we not branching further in case of node 3 and node 5? Because whose upper bound value is uh, not the least cost, or it is the maximum value. So don't consider that. So we are branching further over at a node 4, right? At a node 4 branch further. So what is our next assumption? We have done with item 1, item 2. So next assumption is item 3. Select item 3 with item 3 and without item 3. So with item 3, yes, obviously same cost and upper bound value, same value will remain same, because at the initial state only we have selected item 1, item 2 and item 3. So same, it will remain same, minus 38 and minus 32. Correct. So so this is done. So next alternative is don't select item 3 without item 3. Without item 3, so x3 will become 0. Identify the cost value and the upper bound value. So identify the cost value. Select item 1, correct? So whose weight is 2. Select item 2 whose weight is 4. Don't select item 3. According to our assumption, what are we doing? Don't select item 3. So it's not possible. Next, go for the item 4. It is 9. Now check the value. 9 plus 4 is 13. 13 plus 2 is 15. So whether this 15 is less than or equal to the maximum capacity, that is 15, yes, it is equal to the maximum capacity. So need not to do any fraction because it is equal. So what is the cost now? 10, that is item 1 profit, item 2 profit, item 4 profit. So 10 plus 10 plus 18 will give you 38. So what is the upper bound value? Again, it is same, 10 plus 18, whose value is 38. Did you get this point? Why are we not doing fraction here? Because the weight of item 4 can, the entire weight of item 4 can fit into the bag, which follows constraint saying that it is less than or equal to the maximum capacity. So you can fit the entire item 4, need not to go for a fraction of item 4. Did you understand till now? Fine. So we have done at this particular point, right? So what is the upper bound value which we got here? Minus 38. Now at this level, which is the minimum, minus 32 or minus 38, which is minimum, minus 38 is minimum. So update, you need to update the upper bound value, which will, this will become minus 38. Done till now? Fine. So now you branch further. I cannot branch at this node 6 because it is not the least cost. The least cost is minus 38. So branch at this particular level. So if you branch at this level, C is again the cost and upper bound will remain same because in the previous stage only we have same here also. So C is equal to minus 38, upper bound is equal to minus 38. No change in the cost and upper bound value. Then without considering item 4, go for without considering item 4. So here what happens? Again calculate the upper bound and the cost value. So let us look into this. What are we saying here? What are we assuming here? Don't select item 4. Correct. So select, then left out option is select item 1, item 2 and item 3. So item 1 is 10, item 2 is 10. Why are we not selecting item 3? Because if you backtrack, we came to this stage by not selecting item 3. Correct? We came to this particular node by not selecting item 3. So even item 3 is not selected. We are selecting only first and second item. Did you get this point? So 10 and 10 is, value is 20 and upper bound will also become 20. Is it clear? So now I cannot branch further at this particular node because minus 20 is maximum compared to minus 38. Fine. So don't or kill this particular node. Fine. Did you get this till now? Understood till now? Fine. Now, can I branch further? You cannot branch further because we have done with all 4 items in the list. Correct? We cannot branch further. So now if you observe, we got our solution. This is our optimal solution. So now what we need to do, we need to backtrack in order to get the solution. So if you observe here, this is with select by selecting item 1. This is without selecting item 3. This is with selecting item 2 and selecting item 1. Correct? So x1 is equal to 1. X2 is equal to 1, X3 is equal to 0, X1 is equal to 4, which means what? 1, 1, 0, 1 represents select item 1, item 2 and item 4. So identify its weight and profit. So what is the profit? So 10 plus 10 plus, we are not selecting item 3, so it is 0 plus 80. Correct? So the weight is 38, I mean the profit is 38. The weight also we should check, we should not exceed the maximum capacity. So 2 plus 4 plus 9 is 15. Clear? So did you understand how are we performing least cost method? Fine, this is an example of a least cost method. So in textbook, if you see, this is how they have given. So don't get confused. So just use, just solve this using this approach. Okay, in exam, you can write either in this way or this, you can write it with in detail. Okay, both the results are correct. Fine. So I'm going to take one more